and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Funduro, which is a monthly race we do here in the ESR. You are all welcome to join, unless, of course, you're terrible, in which case, get good. I am fairly attractive, and with me, as always, is the progenitor of Spa Germanos thingamabob, because screw that Franco nonsense, Mike Magas.
Thank you. I will Germanify the Spa Francorchamps track and screw over the Belgians and the French.
Indeed. Also, I noticed we're not in an actual recording room, so this will be fun.
Well, we can move there now. Hey, the recording didn't even stop.
We did it. Yeah.
We did it, fam.
It's science. We're testing things. You get to be the guinea pigs. Welcome.
We did screw up there.
Meh. They'll probably see it small. It'll be interesting, actually, to hear the playback to see if the audio quality jumps when we did.
That'll be a little interesting. We're finishing up the qualifying here for the 1 hour 45-minute race of Spa.
An hour 45? You didn't tell me that.
I don't know why. Why it's an hour 45? But okay.
I did not secure an extra bottle. We're going to need a pit stop at some point.
This is the GT3 and GT4 race here around Spa. We have 13 GT3s and it looks like 9 GT4s, so it should be a pretty fun time. Christopher Streppen is the man on pole position. Not surprising. This track is his backyard, so, he knows the place.
Hacks.
Josiah Jerome, Fran Machuca, Andrew D, Ariel Zatoni will round off the top 5 in GT3. In GT4, it is Tony Santa Clara, Liam Curtin, Alexander Salutko, Alex Loeffler, and yours truly, Michael Magas.
Oh, hi. I see a distinct lack of ya boy, Javier Perez Torres.
He was absent for this one. So
Whale sugar dog biscuits.
All right, so we're going to form up the grid here, and we're going to get off, and shouldn't see any terrible tragedies at the start because there were no actual penalties handed out for the first lap. So
well, I'm going to have a nap then. Oh.
So the grid is forming. A lot of BMW M6s up at the front. Of course, the GT4 field being dominated by the BMW M4s, which sadly means we get to see a lot of that new BMW logo that the game has, which looks pretty garbage. Please go back to the old one.
I agree. Just to be agreeable.
I am not down with the Bavarian motor companies giving into their white power urges on this one. It does not look good. But there are a lot of them. So here we go. We got red lights, and we are off. We do have a mandatory pit stop here today. Bad start for Andrew D. He's getting swallowed up by the field pretty badly. And Josiah Jerome is looking to get the lead here from Christopher Streppen down the inside of Lasource, and it looks like he's got that done. Fran Machuca getting spun around there through Lasource, and oh god, that was a terrible recovery by him. He kind of backed through traffic.
I'm fine with it.
I'm a little surprised that wasn't a penalty. But anyways, it is Josiah Jerome, Christopher Streppen, Martin Edmonds, Ariel Zatoni, and Caleb Gonzalez up front for the GT3s. The GT4s are led by Tony Santa Clara, Alexander Salutko, Liam Curtin, Michael Magas, and Alex Loeffler. Good to see Alex Loeffler back on the grid.
Loeffle.
There is Martin Edmonds and the now available number 69 car, Dunlop car. I noticed that they added a bunch of the previously removed liveries to the store. Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta check if the livery that Sonia has been denied this entire time is in the store now.
Ooh,
that would be intriguing.
I'm intrigued. Also, would you like some Belgian waffles?
I would enjoy some Belgian waffles. Bertrand Barrier in 10th place there, battling with, I believe that is Ismael Montoya in the man filter Mercedes. As Montoya getting shoved out a little bit wide there, and Barrier up into 9th place. There's a Ford GT on the track, and I don't know why you're racing that, Mr. Kobayashi, because it's a bad idea. It's a bad plan.
I like bad ideas. You can't prove they're bad until you tested them 8 or 9 times.
You really can. That wasn't a very competitive car before the new GT3s came in, and it's even less so now.
Listen, just because you're not a fan of the scientific method doesn't mean I can't do my testing.
I'm a big fan of the scientific method. I verify almost everything. Mike Stopmilt makes fun of me because I spent hours testing cars that I knew I wouldn't actually drive.
Excellent.
As we head towards the bus stop here, there is the Ford GT of Fumihiro Kobayashi, and oh my god, that was a sneaky move by Ishmael Montoya to take 9th place back from Barrier. Very nice.
The barrier.
So it is indeed 13 GT3s here today, and it is a mere 9 GT4s. So the GT4 is all in for a top 10 finish if they can see the checkered flag. Christopher Streppens dropped back to 3rd place. Martin Edmonds going around the outside of La Source and into Eau Rouge has 2nd place.
Well done. But seriously, though, since this is the Francorchamps, doesn't Barrier win automatically by default?
Well, it's in Belgium, so technically Christopher Streppin, I think, wins by default.
I suppose, if you must. But are these not Franco? Oh, but wait, doesn't that mean the Spanish dudes are automatically win because Franco?
It goes even deeper.
The levels of frankness.
The levels of frankness go deeper and deeper into our souls. As, well, Martin is in 2nd place for now. We'll see if he can hold off Christoph. Christoph won here in the ACC series. And that was against a, no offense, gentlemen, but that was against a stronger field. I mean, for one thing, Mike Stoffman was there. And Maxi Lentini. We've got another wolf, by the way, in the ESR Fundum now. Guillaume. Oh God!
Blender time.
Josiah Jerome has thrown the race lead away, and possibly his race in general, because that car is heavily damaged, and Martin Edmonds is now in the lead from Christopher Streppin and Ariel Zatoni. It's a 1, 2, 3 for the BMW M6s. Which makes this highly unrealistic, because the M6 sucks in real life. Sorry, Mike Stoffmill winning Macau. Does not matter.
I see that Martin Edmonds has exercised his full admin powers by kicking people from the race.
By throwing a banana in front of Josiah Jerome. That Ford is falling back there. Fumihiro Kobayashi fighting with contact. But they're okay. The lone Audi in the field of Josiah Jerome there. And looking to see if there's any changes. Michael Magas is up into 2nd place with John Barker up into 3rd. Curtin and Saluco have fallen back to 4th and 5th place. Do you know what happened there?
Drugs.
And Ishmael Montoya and Bertrand Barrier are still squabbling over 9th position.
I think Wayne's having a bad day.
Yeah, Wayne, well, I mean, Wayne is having a bad day because Wayne oh, God, Ishmael Montoya in the wall. Montoya in the wall. I don't know if Barrier had anything to do with that, or Ichazo. They were fighting for position. Fumihiro Kobayashi looking to fight still with the presumably damaged Audi R8 of Josiah Jerome, who hit the wall earlier. And Montoya has slipped behind the GT4s as well and might be out of this race.
He did.
Oh, Martin Edmonds spun around.
What is that? I see Christopher Verstappen used his hometown advantage to kick Martin from the race.
Indeed. Christopher Streppin moving to the front with Ariel Zatoni. Then it is Gonzalez D and Max Simmons. By way, of course, as always, here on the ESR commentary team, we always have the over-under of how much time remaining in the pit window will Max Simmons pit in. The over-under today is set at 5 minutes remaining in the window.
Very nice. Your boy. I had something for this, and now my brain's gone. I noticed that somebody. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, kind of a bad day for Gonzalez, comparatively.
Yeah, a bit of weak qualifying, but he's up to 3rd place now. He's charging through the field. He is a bit of a weaker car. That McLaren 650S that he's driving is not quite on par with the more modern cars in the GT3 field. despite being of the same generation, which is something I've been kind of anti-race room about, that the McLaren should actually be a reasonable car and just isn't really. Josiah Jerome has gotten past the Ford of Kobayashi, so found on roadside dead is handled. And next on his list is Max Simmons in the surprisingly the only Porsche in the field. Oh! And he loses it, and into La Source, Josiah Jerome banks another spot and is back into the top 5.
Agreed. That's why I'm here to be supportive.
So basically, the top tier of GT3 right now is the BMW M6 that you see on your screen right now, the Audi R8 that Josiah Jerome's racing, the Porsche being raced by Max Simmons, and the Mercedes AMG, which you will see when we see Wayne Hutchison on the screen. Anything else is, and the Callaway that Ichazo is driving. Anything else is just slower, in a nutshell.
Probably not wrong. All I know is Max Simmons' car makes me want like a boatload of toffees.
That's true. I do like that livery. It's very nice.
Makes me want a boatload of toffees, and also the tartan thing. Different idea.
It's also a Canadian racing team.
Very nice.
Striking all the chords today. Kobayashi has really kind of been the cork in the bottle this whole time. Like, always has a bunch of cars chopped up behind him, or chucked up behind him. And right now it is Barrier, Edmonds, and Ichazo trying to find their way past. And side by side again, the nerves of I've noticed this from Kobayashi. He's got absolute nerves of steel for this in close fighting, but I think he is going to lose out here. As Ariel Zatoni, speaking of losing out, loses out to Josiah Jerome. I noticed that his front end is very bashed up. I wonder if he came to blows with something very hard, because that is a messed up BMW.
Well, I mean, we have had between 3 and 17 giant blender accidents, so I assume everybody's a little banged up.
They tended to be one car.
Mr. Nothing's going to happen. It's all safe.
Hey, I said there were no penalties. Martin Edmonds overtaking Kobayashi. Ichazo and Barrier also got through, so Kobayashi back to 10th place now. And Fran Machuca's catching up with everybody here nicely. He's in that yellow BMW in the background. So the franchise is coming.
Machuca chugling on down to New Orleans. Any CCR fans out there?
We'll see. Leave in the comments below. Into Eau Rouge we go, on board with Kobayashi in the Ford. And just not able to really keep it flat through there. Montoya does appear to be out of the race. He's now 2 laps down to the GT4 crew, so I would say that he is done. Ichazo looking to the inside of Barrier there. Nothing doing at this time between those two, although it's getting close. I'd be nervous being that close to Luciano. He generally doesn't have the greatest ping in the world.
Well, maybe if he got some Pong to go with that ping, he'd even right out.
Maybe some Tang even.
Indeed. Martin Edmonds, 69 car. Very nice. Well done.
Alright,
nice.
So Verstappen's out front by about 2 seconds ahead of Gonzalez, who is now under pressure from Andrew D. in the very stylish PlayStation BMW. Josiah Jerome in 4th, then it's Tony, Simmons, Barrier, Ichazo, Edmonds, Kobayashi, Machuca, Hutchison, and in the GT4 category it is Santa Clara from Magas, Curtin, Saluco, Delgado is up to 5th place. Little chest pump for that. And then it is Butler, Barker, Loeffler, and Mengual.
The Mangler.
So Caleb Gonzalez up to 2nd place. This is more where we're used to seeing him. And battling hard with Andrew D. Trying to get down the inside of the bus stop, and it is not happening for him right now. Got his nose kind of snipped off there by the McLaren. And Luciano Ichazo would like to get past Martin Edmonds, but has not found a way. Although I think he actually recently lost that spot to Edmonds, so I'm not sure how live he is to attack the BMW there. And Gonzalez is now right up on the back of Christoph. Christoph's made a mistake. And has now got Andrew D. and Caleb Gonzalez all over his back end. They're coming up to lap the GT4 of Sergio Mengual up ahead of them.
You know what this race needs?
What?
More Federico Svanger.
He's been having internet problems lately and like hardware problems. It's
Well,
unfortunate.
I mean, he's from Greece. I mean, that's to be expected.
Liam Curtin battling for the last spot on the podium with Alexander Saluko, who's having a very nice run here in the GT4 4 category.
It's actually GT 3.5.
There is actually more or less a GT 3.5, but it's actually called GT2, which is interesting.
They give you one extra piston.
Gonzalez all over the back of Verstappen. Looks like he gained a little bit even through the blue flag stage there. Oh, come on, Liam. Liam Curtin versus Alex Saluko battling for the pride of the Academy Division. Both of these are graduates from the most recent ESR and sadly last ESR Academy, along with James Butler, Demetrius Simeonitis, Rochelle Guerin, Martin Hughes was another one, and as well as Dave Nelson.
George Nelson. No, that's not George Nelson. Also, if you want to get that joke, watch Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Which you should do anyway. Holy
You
Christ.
should do that anyways, even if you don't want to understand the joke.
Because Mike am a man of constant sorrow. While I am a Dapper Dan man.
I'm seeing Sergio Mengual's got a little bit of damage there, so he's looking a little shaky. Might explain why he's in last place, which is not normally where you find him. Normally he's relatively towards the front of the pack.
You dirtbags have been in last place for 8 years.
Speaking of, well, I mean, last place usually has my name on it, sir.
Well, obviously you're pressing the gas pedal in this particular race.
In this particular race, I also have hockey tape on my toes.
That sounds pretty gangster.
Yeah, I unfortunately got started the new job like 2 weeks ago, and first day of work had to walk up 17 flights of stairs, and my dress shoes, you know, for going to work and everything, they don't fit great. They don't fit great.
Fantastic.
So by the end of the day, I had like massive, basically friction burns between my toes.
Might I recommend wearing your real ass shoes and then taking the cool dressy ones out of your backpack right before you walk in?
That is what I would do, but I'm also working there only 1 day a week, so it's really not so bad.
Yeah, fair enough.
I get to work from home the other 4 days. Oh, drive-through penalty for track limit abuse for Sergio Mengual. So things have gone from bad to worse for the Spaniard.
Want me some of them caramels?
So yeah, when I race or honestly do anything that involves my feet, put some bandages on them, put that polysporin on them, and then wrap them up in the hockey tape.
You should probably use lacrosse tape. It's tougher. Or not. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know if there's really any kind of actual material difference between lacrosse tape and hockey tape, but it'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, I don't think there is. It's probably part of the joke.
Andrew D still running in third place. Andrew D keeping up with them nicely. It's good to see. Bit of a new face towards the front of the field. He's done well in the past, don't get me wrong, but this is the first time where I feel like he's been like in that top 1%, that very upper crust. And Josiah Jerome, hopefully we can catch up with them and we can have a four-way battle. In the meantime, Max Simmons has got them stacked up behind him with Bertrand Barrier, Luciano Chazon. In the background, it is Martin Edmonds. Fran Machuca's up into the top 10, having displaced the Ford of Kobayashi. I feel like Wayne Hutchison might be the next one to take a run at our Japanese resident racer. Might have lost Sergio Mengual now, although he's still adding laps to... Oh my god, Ichazo is not remotely within track limits through Eau Rouge there. Holy crap.
Was this about some Oju?
Eau Rouge, no Oju. I'd prefer it being Oju.
No,
oh no, Bertrand! We get on
is
board
in the
with
barrier.
Bertrand Barrier, who's in the barrier at Lake Home. That will drop him, and it looks like Luciano Chazo's hit problems too, because he's down to 12th place. The track is biting people today. It's been a lot of spinning, but it's just been people on their own. Like, it's not been contact or anything. As, we continue to be Verstappen, Gonzalez, and D up front, with Santa Clara absolutely dominating the GT4 field. The others might as well just not even be there from the standpoint of winning the race. I'm getting messages on the Discord, and it's probably people asking about the tiering server that is up. So let me just answer it on screen here. Go on the server, run 5 laps, your best laps, all valid, and you get tiered. There you go. That's the secret.
Get with the program.
Get with the program. I'm waiting to finalize what car I'm going to run in that series before I do my tiering. It's either going to be the Lexus or the Audi. And it all depends. All depends on a man named Mike Stoffmill.
Do the Daihatsu, it'll be hilarious.
Basically, Mike Stoffmill is pondering running in the Wednesday series. I'm going to run the same car in Wednesday and Saturday, just simpler. Learning one car. And if he joins our team, it will be the Audi for me, him, and Javier Perez Torres. That's going to be your favorite team, right, Byron? That's the team you're going to cheer for?
I will be cheering for that team and no other.
Excellent, excellent.
It says right here on my script.
It does. Oh, Caleb's going for the lead. He's gone the outside. He's got it. He's got the lead through Campbell Straight. But can he keep it heading into Lake Home? And it looks like for now he will. McLaren to the front of the pack. So it's Gonzalez, Verstappen, and D now at the front of the GT3 field. They're making their way through the GT4s. I think that's Alex Loeffler who's next up on their list to lap. And we will see how that goes and how that starts out. Christoph Verstappen, after dominating the qualifying festivities, has just not really had anything here. It's a little strange.
What I find even more strange is that Josiah Jerome hasn't been leading this race the entire time by 92 1/2 seconds.
Well, he spun out.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's hardly stopped Stoffmill before. Why should have stopped him?
Stoffmill usually doesn't spit out.
That's probably accurate.
All right, the pressure's on. John Barker lets the leaders through there in the yellow BMW. And it is still Gonzalez who's got the lead here from Verstappen. Josiah Jerome is about 3 seconds behind Andrew D, so he is closing and might be in this fight before long. And plenty of time left, of course, with over 80 minutes to go in the race. Looking for a move maybe into the bus stop. Nope. Looks like Caleb is able to just kind of leave Christoph a little bit for dead on some of the longer straightaways. It's
rather violent.
Big. As they're coming up to Liam Curtin, who is still battling with Saluko there for 3rd place in the GT4 field. Alex Loeffler catching up to the back of John Barker. These two have had some good squabbles in the past, so looking forward to seeing them duke it out here. That is currently for 7th place. As Luciano Chazo's fallen way back, and that makes me think that we may have lost the lone Chevrolet from the field.
I wouldn't disagree. I mean, I would, but I'm not going to.
In fairness, it's a Callaway engineered Chevrolet, so it's not quite your standard Chevrolet. James Butler getting out of the way there. Butler under some pressure from Liam Curtin, who he has overtaken at some point. But Curtin getting the spot back there, and that's P4 in the GT4 field back to Liam Curtin, who was the dominant player at Imola in the multi-class race, and next month it's going to be Imola for the Enduro, so look out for Liam Curtin then. I think smart money might be on him.
I think they should just do the Daytona Oval for the Enduro, just for the laughs.
We are actually going to the Daytona sports car track for the final round of the ESR multi-class series this Saturday, so get ready for that, everybody. Yours truly is going for the title. I'm in second place, and I just I need to beat out Tuxedo Duran, and I might be able to actually, for the first time ever, hoist a trophy.
You want the title?
I do want the title. I want the glory, the acclaim, and we'll see what I can do.
That sounds dope.
I'll be practicing that for that tomorrow, and also the second episode of these De Bears Super Mega Baseball regular season coming to you tomorrow. Was supposed to be today, but Eric Hawkins canceled on me. Now we're doing it tomorrow.
I don't know what an Eric Hawkins is, and he's fired.
He's cool nerd.
Oh, right. Derp. Wasn't even thinking.
He will be taking the hill in the second game of the regular season as, I think that's just Max Simmons making his way through blue flag traffic, so nothing really to report there. I will say Barker and Loeffler, though, are having a pretty good dispute here over let's see here, 1, 2, 3, well, that'd be 6th place in the GT4 standings. Battling it out, heading towards the source there, as Martin Edmonds, once the leader of this race, looks to hunt down Max Simmons for 6th place. This is a rivalry that has formed in recent rounds, to be honest. The Max Simmons, the late pit stop guy, versus Martin Edmonds, the I murdered my tires guy. And it always gets interesting because they're never on the same strategy in terms of pit stop, and that means that their tires are never at the same spot.
I vote that they have to swap tires in the air halfway through the race.
And Max Simmons was absolutely exploding my Discord there, so I did have to answer him.
Damn it, Maxwell.
He interrupted the battle here between himself and Martin Edmonds. Take it away his own screen time.
Well, maybe we should just cut out this part of the video to punish him.
No, that'd punish Martin and also the franchise. We can't punish the franchise. The Fran Club will come after us.
The Fran Club is powerful, although their bleating annoys me at times.
They are the most powerful fan base in the sport outside of Javier Perez Torres.
Correct, because we are that fan club, and we are like the voice of the people, so we are the most powerful.
Indeed. And if you don't believe that, meet us outside at the parking lot at 8:30 tomorrow.
Correct.
You need like one of those Jesus fighting people signs. Jesus parking lot 6:30. Is Jesus fighting people now?
Try Jesus. Don't try me.
Don't try me.
Because I fight.
Because he throws hands.
Correct. Cannot be stopped. I feel no pain. I cannot be reasoned with.
This is pretty much your case in the simulator. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is a man who has won fights in the simulator by powerbomb and by baby back rib tenderizer.
Correct. I was going to ask you which Trackmania game we play, and then I looked at my hours played and was like, oh, it's clearly that one.
Yeah, it's the free one, Nations Forever. I think we cut away right there as we were getting an overtake made, but I'm not sure if it was successful. In fact, it was Christoph Verstappen's into the lead, and Caleb is into his butt. And is losing spot to Andrew D.
Get him.
BMW 1-2 has been restored, and the McLaren has been dropped back to third place. Surprised Josiah Jerome's falling back at this fight now, which is disappointing. I really thought he would get back in on this. But he's having a hard time even really getting away from Ariel Satoni, who's got a messed up car. Meantime, Martin Edmonds still stalking Max Simmons. The key point for them, of course, will be Martin will probably pit earlier. Again, wears his tires relatively quickly. And then that'll be Max's opportunity to try to build a lead. Pit, probably come out behind Martin, and then try to run him down at the end with the fresher rubber. That's probably how that works. And Fran Machuca is just on the back of this going, would you guys like to get a room?
Sir, have you heard the word of Yamaha?
Oh, Yamaha and cars. That doesn't really work. I mean, it kind of does. Like, the first engine I ever rebuilt was a Yamaha engine, but it was in a Ford car. Go figure. That's the weirdest thing, actually.
Little did you know that Yamaha makes all cars. You just weren't aware.
My
Global
dad's
monopoly.
1989 Ford Taurus SHO, the ultimate ego killer, because we outraced a Viper in that fucking thing.
Very nice.
Had a Yamaha engine, which had he not been a bit of a... Oh, hang on. Martin Edmonds is about to lose a spot to Fran Machuca, I think. In fact, they both got past Max Simmons? What did Simmons do? What?
Drugs.
Camera guy. You're fired, camera guy. I really wanted to see that.
Max was probably busy chatting on Discord. Wasn't paying attention.
He's lost a spot to Bar. He's nowhere near them now. He's behind Barrier. What the fuck happened there? Excuse my language, but I think it's warranted in this case. Camera guy, come on. Jesus Christ.
He hit the barrier.
Might have. Alright, so it's Verstappen from D, Gonzalez, Jerome, Zatoni, Edmonds, Pachuca, Barrier, Simmons, and Kobayashi, your top 10 in GT3. And your top 5 in GT4 is Santa Clara, Magas, Saluco, Curtin, and Butler.
That seems reasonable.
So, I mean, while GT3 has been really, really active in terms of the race lead, Tony Santa Clara has put almost 20 seconds on the field in GT4, so he gone. I do believe we will be getting the pit window open shortly, although I don't suspect anyone will go for the early pit stop quite yet. We have sadly lost Sergio Mengual and Ishmael Montoya from this race. Looks like Echazo is still running. Just maybe he had to make a pit stop and fix some things, but it does look like he is still ambulor on the track somewhere. Of course, the sponsor of this... Martin going for a late lunge. That's just a lapping situation, though, on the aforementioned Tony Santa Clara. And, of course, this video is sponsored by Wakanda Forever.
Indeed. R.I.P.
R.I.P. In fact, a double RIP, because, of course, this weekend was the Spa Grand Prix in Formula 1 and Formula 2 and Formula 3, which, of course, was unfortunately, the end of the promising young career of Antoine Hubert last season. And they had Juan Manuel Correa at the track with his to show his recovery. He's walking pretty normally, actually, now for a guy whose leg got absolutely fucked up in that crash.
Oh, that's good.
And he says it is his goal to get back onto the Formula 2 grid at some point and also be a bit of a spokesman for people with disabilities. So that'll be interesting. It was a really scary crash at Spa. that happened there, which of course Mike Stockmill, I do believe, was at that race and posted some pictures.
You are correct. May have also been the cause of the wreck.
May have.
Just because I want to blame him for stuff.
Also got the display of the most sim racer thing of all time that a racer's ever said with Dan Ticktum, who's an immature little brat. Don't mind crapping on Dan Ticktum at all chances, because I feel like he's a guy who everyone's like, oh, he deserves a second chance. Like, he tried to kill someone on the track. It's not cool.
That is the least cool of things, actually.
Well, he didn't try, I shouldn't say he tried to kill someone, but he did intentionally ram a rival off the track, which, because auto racing is such a dangerous sport, is a potentially fatal act.
Yep.
So,
everything could be on fire. You can't even see it.
Anyways, he tried to make an overtake on Roy Nissany at Les Comps, which is, of course, the third turn of this track. And then had like a massive tirade over team radio that got broadcast, which was quite amusing. As Fran Machuca looks down the inside of La Source, but can't make it happen against Martin Edmonds. That's a battle for 6th place still. Bertrand Barrier in behind them. Max Simmons has dropped really far back. I would like to get a camera look at his car, because I imagine it's got to be damaged.
It's fine. It's got at least one wheel.
Not much happening in the GT4 field. Pretty much everything is as it was. Loeffler and Barker are still tussling over position there for 6th place. Speaking of Lacombe, here it is. And that will not go the way of Fran Machuca. He wanted to make a move, wanted to do good, and in the end didn't really do good. Oh, he did overtake him. Okay. What is up there? Did Martin Edmonds just give up that position? Did he feel like he forced Fran off the track maybe somehow? I don't know. Feel like we're missing something there.
Well, I mean, he is a bit of a bully. And also has
But he gave the spot up. I don't think that's being much of a bully.
Well, he just wants to bully him some more.
Oh, I see. He's the guy that gives you back the lunch money, so you can go double the lunch money, and then he takes it again. Martin Edmonds, of course, one-time leader of this race, now back in 7th place. Still on for a decent handful of points, but hopefully we see improvement. Of course, he is the admin of this series, and we are always slightly cheering for the admins.
Man, not me. I kind of poke at him a little bit. It's fun.
All right, who are you rating for here in the GT3 category then?
Your boy Saluco. Can you go pass all those? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm not cheering for really anybody.
Ah.
Except Josiah Jerome.
You guys with your baritone voices. He is catching up. He's actually got the gap down to 2 seconds. So he's been doing some good work these last couple of laps.
Because Josiah lives down by the beach.
And he is leaving Zatoni for dead. So that is good, because Zatoni's car is a little messed up. A little surprised it took this long for Josiah to get in the groove. As Bertrand Barrier catching up with Martin Edmonds. And Edmonds has not been able to stay with Fran Machuca, so Machuca just maybe Martin is asked too much of the tires once again. This is possible. And while I will cheer for the admin and root for him, I will also make fun of him for his lack of tire management. Liam Curtin coming up behind Alexander Saluko, who you mentioned earlier. This is a battle for third place and a podium spot in the GT4 category. The less advanced and cheaper cars in the field.
And by cheaper, you mean they only cost $300,000?
Let me have a look. Is this going to be one of those cases where I look on the website and they don't have a price for it? They don't have a price for it.
I am not surprised.
Oh, here we go. 169,000 euros.
Well, that's highly affordable, question mark.
In Canadian dollars, that is about 263,000. Now, in comparison, looking up the BMW M6 cost, GT3. This one I feel like I'm not going to be able to find a cost for. Easily, anyways.
Roughly 750,000 quadloos. And several press platinum.
260,000 euros.
That's fine. You can wreck 7 of those on a weekend and still walk home.
About $500,000 then. Yeah, so there you go. So the GT3s are approximately twice the cost of the GT4s. So there you go. Josiah Jerome is up on the back of Caleb Gonzalez, and Gonzalez is still not too far away from the leaders. So if I may be so bold, Josiah is on a freaking charge right now.
Indeed, you may be so bold. I'll allow it.
So he is the danger man. And the man who's been putting up some really nice lap times. So maybe the Audi is being a little bit kinder to its tires than the BMWs and McLarens are. Because he is hauling ass right now. As in the meantime, Michael Magas is dropping back through the field. Josiah Jerome up the inside of the bus stop, and he's got it. Audi to the podium. Oh, maybe not. The straightaway is letting the McLaren come back at him.
Put him in the wall.
Let's see what happens here. Heading into La Source. It is going to be Caleb who holds him off and retains third position. Fran Machuca is now under immense pressure from both Martin Edmonds and Bertrand Barrier.
Would you say that was the cause and the source of all of your problems?
Oh, my problems? No, Lacombe was the source of my problems.
Maybe you should use Le Brush.
Looks like Josiah had a bit of an internet problem there and has, as a result, dropped back a little bit. So what happened to me that is leading to this early pit stop is I screwed up going into Lacombe and I completely busted the suspension.
I would recommend not hitting all the chuck holes.
And it should be mentioned, I was under no pressure. It was, I mean, if you're interested to see what I sound like incredibly pissed off, go check out the onboard video because I'm not a happy camper. The entire tone of the onboard takes this really depressed / angry tone the remainder of the way. So, spoilers, we're not looking at me making a massive comeback.
Well, if I were you, I would just have it fixed and then do better.
That's the plan. That is absolutely the plan. Josiah Jerome up on the back of Caleb Gonzalez. He got past him once. Can he do it again? And in the meantime, the BMW fight over 6th place continues. Machuca versus Edmonds versus Barrier. Max Simmons is still falling back of him, so Max is... Really, I need Max on the screen here to figure out if there's something wrong with his car, because he's just had 0 pace since he randomly fell back a couple of spots.
I believe what happened is he got all the toffee in the engine and now he's fucked.
Oh, here is where Josiah went for it last time, coming into the bus stop again. He's got the inside line, but that's going to turn into the outside line. And last time, the McLaren was able to out-drag him on the straightaway to La Source. I think Josiah's got it this time. And that is 3rd place for Josiah Jerome in the Audi. Wayne Hutchison in the pit lane. Wayne Hutchison, first of the GT3s into the pits. If anyone had that in their betting pool, you're a rich man, because usually the odds say Wayne's one of the late pitters.
Is there some sort of parlay bet I could lay down?
I mean, it's too late now.
Why? You just delete the audio; it'll be fine.
Could be an ESR betting pool. I mean,
Very nice.
Something I would not be opposed to. Barrier has gotten past Edmonds, by the way. You too, with the right application of betting, could make up a lot of money, like I did, making 12 grand.
All you had to do was bet the old man to win.
Yeah, all I had to do was get a little bit lucky with the judges on that Frankie Edgar fight, but I ain't gonna complain. The judges have screwed me over enough that I'll take one going my way.
Indeed, very much so.
Although I must say, people are really angry about the decision, and I can't. As much as I scored it for Munoz, I can't really say that I find myself terribly angry, because there are 3 really close rounds there that, I mean, you can go any way you want with that.
I will go to Tahiti.
Caleb Gonzalez now looking to hunt back down Josiah Jerome. Josiah is 2.3 seconds off of Andrew D. We'll have to keep an eye on that gap. As we continue this race in the early-ish pit window here, Martin Edmonds is all over the back end of Bertrand Barrier. He lost that 7th place, and he would like it back. It's been a really weird race for Martin Edmonds. Like, am I the only one that thinks that, like, a guy who was in the lead, made a mistake, fell back, showed good pace, charged up the field, then showed no pace and lost a couple spots? It's just been weird. It has been so bizarre that I'm actually tempted to go look at the log file after this and see, like, what Martin's, like, deviation was, because it had to have been huge.
Well, he was a bit of a deviant.
Something just fell off my desk, and I don't know what it was.
That's probably a squirrel. I like the fact that Martin Edmonds has the web link to the ESR website in his little description there. That is amazing.
That is his team name.
Well done, well done.
So, kind of waiting to see who bats an eye heads into the pit lane right now. We're not at the halfway point, so this will still be going on for a while. This is what, a 105-minute race, so the halfway point would be 52.5 minutes remaining in the race. So that'll be when the pit stop should really heat up. I made my pit stop because of the damage factor, and I'm not sure why Wayne came in. Perhaps damage?
It's probably alcohol poisoning.
Sir, I would not besmirch Wayne like that. He does not drink and drive. Whoa! Josiah Jerome is teleported up to the back of Andrew D and is going for 2nd place.
Get him!
Josiah coming. Now, unfortunately for Josiah's desire to win the race, it looks like Andrew's kind of fallen off of Christoph Verstappen, so Verstappen's a fair way up the road. but it is not over yet. We still got plenty of time. Edmonds has gotten past Barrier by a large margin. Which makes me think that there may have been some contact.
What's this about large
Margin.
Oh, large margarine?
Tubs of margarine, yes. There is Wayne Hutchison up ahead in the Mercedes. He's made his pit stop, but still not a great place to be in to be seeing blue flags in your near future at Spa. Josiah's all over Andrew D through. Oh boy, a little wide there.
Always with the fat shaming.
Some liberal interpretations of the track limits there. And this is allowing Caleb Gonzalez to catch up, so the McLaren is suddenly back in this hunt for the podium. So with Magas' pit stop, I should go through the GT4 list here. Tony Santa Clara leading from Alexander Saluko. Liam Curtin in third place. John Barker fourth. Fifth for Mr. James Butler. Sixth for Delgado. Seventh for Magas. It looks like we've lost Alex Loeffler at some point. Around 4 laps ago.
That sounds like quitter talk.
It definitely is. And of course, the Bertrand Barrier in the pits making his pit stop. You saw it turn green there. That is a sign that you cleared your mandatory pit stop and are, in theory, good to go to the end without a visit to the pits. As Wayne Hutchison leaves room there through Stavelot and into Blanchimont to let the battle for second place get past him, and that has worked out to Andrew D's benefit. He's gotten a bit of a gap now. Whoa, Caleb! Overcooking the brakes a little bit into the bus stop.
Down here at the bus stop. It's the only way to stop.
That is technically true.
Sublime. You wouldn't understand its music.
I don't understand music. That is definitely for sure.
You're the only person who understands slightly more music than Jack Brody, and that's not saying anything. Although you do like Sabaton, so that's okay.
Alexander Saluko into the pit lane along with Mauricio Delgado. So Saluko taking care of his pit stop. That'll bring Liam Curtin up into second place.
I think that all race room races should be driven to Valkyries by Blind Guardian.
That'd be pretty cool.
Would be pretty cool. Just on loop, constantly.
I figured that. Oh, Josiah! No!
Why have you done this to me again?
Spinning out at Rivage, Josiah Jerome spins out of the podium, and Caleb Gonzalez is there to pick up the pieces and move back into third place. Josiah a little rusty. That's 2 unforced errors in this race from the transplanted Texan.
If this was tennis, you'd be run out of town on a rail.
That's true. Looking to see if any pit stops have passed us. Nope, nothing since Saluko hit the pit lane. So Josiah Jerome will now have to once again try to charge back to that podium. Caleb Gonzalez will do his best to deny him that pleasure and possibly get back up to pressuring Andrew D. This is all working out to Christopher Strepin's favor, of course. He's now got a pretty solid 6-second lead up there in first place.
Will it be potentially more places than 18th place?
Nope. Martin Edmonds into the pits, as well as the franchise, Fran Machuca. We are approaching the halfway point here of the race. Plenty of time to go. Still a lot of pit stops to handle. It's not too late, again, to post in the comments below the over-under on when you think Max Simmons is going to come in. Is it going to be with less or more than 5 minutes remaining in the pit window?
It will be with 93 minutes left of the pit window.
Well, that you've already lost, because there is not 93 minutes left of the pit window.
We just need to make the pit window a bit wider.
Now who's fat champ?
I didn't say it was a bad thing. I said increase, make good, make better with wideness.
Martin Edmonds rejoins the pack and has managed to jump Fran Machuca in the pit lane. Interesting. Fran may have had to do some damage repair. He is rejoining behind him, though, and they are both ahead of Bertrand Barrier by... Oh, come on, Josiah. Why you do this?
Because he's on drugs.
He's on drugs. This is like reminding me of the Josiah Jerome with the really bad laptop with the rusted hinges falling over at this point, the level of driving. And there is Caleb Gonzalez, who's got basically all the pressure off him at this point and can focus on just trying to catch up with Andrew D. and counting down the time to his pit stop. A little surprised Ariel Zatoni has not been one of the early pit stoppers. He's fairly damaged, although it doesn't seem to be affecting his pace all that much. Still in 5th place. There's Liam Curtin, the now leader of the GT4 class. I think that means Tony Santa Clara is in the pit lane because we didn't see him get overtaken. So I imagine that the GT4 leader is in for his lone pit stop of the race.
Speaking of pit stops, I'm going to make one of my own.
Roger, roger. Oh, there is Santa Clara rejoining in 4th position behind James Butler. So it is now Curtin, Barker, and Butler, the 3 long-running GT4s that are up at the front of the field. We'll see if Tony Santa Clara on some fresh tires and probably a relatively low fuel load can try to make a run here towards the end to get back to the front of the pack, or if he'll just wait for them to pit and take it over that way because he is still quite close, some like 11 seconds off the lead. As a pit stop for Kobayashi drops him back to 10th place in the Ford. Tony Santa Clara up on the tail of James Butler as we get a lovely look at the Spa-Francorchamps trees. That is race leader Christoph Verstappen in the pit lane. So Andrew D becomes the latest man to lead this race. I want to say he's like the fourth or fifth different leader, actually, at this point. Josiah Jerome also going on. Looks like Caleb Gonzalez might be in the pit lane as well. Ariel Zatoni appears. Oh, no, Zatoni is in the pits as well, so he'll fix up his hood finally. Tony Santa Clara all over the back of James Butler. Now, if you're Butler here, I don't think you really fight him because this is not your fight.
I mean, traditionally, butlers aren't combative.
Well, this Butler is pretty combative. This Butler's more of a buckler. We'll see what his thoughts here on battling with Tony Santa Clara on the fresh tires is, though, as they approach the bus stop. And of course, how aggressive does Tony get, knowing that more or less he's going to just get the lead back when everyone pits? As Caleb Gonzalez exits the pit lane and rejoins the race in 5th position. So he'll probably overtake Simmons and Jerome when they pit, though. So probably still 3rd. As Santa Clara overtakes Butler there for 2nd place, which means somebody pitted. John Barker appears to be in the pit lane. So that just means Liam Curtin and James Butler are the last 2 GT4s to pit. In the GT3 category, it is Luciano Chazo, who's had a pretty terrible day, but you know what? A hearty chest thump for him for continuing. We're also waiting for Andrew D, Josiah Jerome, and Max Simmons.
I agree.
Looks like we may have lost Mauricio Delgado, sadly, from the race, which puts us down to just 6 surviving GT4 cars.
That's okay, because he'll get in on the next one when we do the reverse grid. Reverse grid enduro, 7 straight hours of racing.
Well, at 7 straight hours of racing, there's like no real. The grid means nothing.
I am going to. I'm going to put something in the DMs on Discord. Do not respond.
Okay. Josiah Jerome is still the leader, although that is pit stop assisted. Andrew D. He has overtaken Andrew D somehow, though. No, D's got to be in the pits.
Give her the D.
That gap is growing very rapidly. I think we can safely say Andrew D is in the pits. By the way, there is Max Simmons, who we've not seen in a while. Looks like he's undamaged despite the loss of pace.
That's all the caramel.
Andrew D. So D is in the pit lane. So it is down to just Jerome, Simmons, Ichazo, Curtin, and Butler to pit. Caleb Gonzalez in 5th place. That will probably turn into 3rd. Or Andrew D, I should say, has rejoined the race ahead of him. And they are still waiting on Jerome and Simmons to make their pit stops as well. But this is probably the battle for 2nd place right here. Although Christopher Streppard not too far ahead. That is him just in the distance there, the effective leader of this race. I just have to say, Tony Santa Clara has taken his belt off and he's beating the GT4 field like badly right now. He's already close to he's going to be within 10 seconds pretty soon of the actual lead, in addition to being the actual leader. Like, this is insane. I think Butler's in the pit lane. Could also be that Curtin's in the pit lane. That would also explain why that gap is closing so fast. But still, heck of a performance here by Tony Santa Clara.
He is indeed the most Santa Claran that there has ever been.
He is 41 seconds ahead of Alexander Saluko, who was in 2nd place.
Correct.
It's incredible. We have Gone just over an hour into this race, and a couple of pit stops still to go, but the race seems to have really taken shape right now. But there's a couple of very good battles going on, including this one between Caleb Gonzalez and Andrew D, which is for 4th place right now, but is effectively for 2nd place. Or at the very least 3rd place, depending on where Josiah Jerome feeds back in. By the way, Jerome appears to be in the pit lane. And the answer is it's going to be behind both of these men. Should see him maybe coming out of the pit lane shortly there in his green Audi. Nope, we won't get a glimpse of him. My God, Eau Rouge. No video game really makes it clear the elevation change there. It is incredible.
Drops at least 2.5 inches.
I mean, check out like a elevation map of Eau Rouge sometime. It's trippy. You really don't realize how impressive that drop is. So Josiah's rejoined about 8.5 seconds to 9 seconds behind this battle. He'll have slightly fresher tires, so he might be able to make a run at the end. We'll see what he can do. But as per usual, the man who really is bringing it with the fresh tires is going to be Max Simmons. Liam Curtin is in the pit lane, so it is down to just the Porsche Max Simmons to pit. Ooh, Alexander Sluko's car has seen better days, but he is in 2nd place. So, well, maybe not for much longer, though. Liam Curtin coming out of the pits with fresh tires. I think the Russian is going to be easy meat for him.
I still wouldn't eat it, but you never know. There could be frozen mammoth.
Could be. Probably is, actually.
I think that's all they got.
We're on board with Martin Edmonds here, who... I don't really know why we're on board with Martin. He's not particularly fighting with anyone at the moment. That's Josiah Jerome's behind him, so Jerome went off the track again, I think.
I think Josiah needs to get tested for intoxicants.
He is now back into 7th place, and I am inclined to agree with you here.
I mean, everybody knows it's my job to do the drinking, sir. Come on.
This is Wreckfest levels of intoxication.
Yeah, excellent.
This is Tank Mario Kart levels of intoxication.
I was going to say, I'm being bullied into playing Wreckfest on Friday night, but I have already committed to hosting a game night. So if anybody wants to investigate what the heck's going on my game night, I did post a video in the Media Replays channel there on Discord.
Shall we explain to the good people who are perhaps...
Let us shall. So there's a game called World of Tanks. It is free to play. There are microtransactions or macro transactions, if you will. And you get to fucking run around in tanks and do shit. There's a tank that we like to play. It's a tier 3, very low level. Is available for purchase with in-game currency if you do not want to spend any money, which I wouldn't recommend if you just don't do that. And we run around like idiots, and you're allowed to shoot people. So you're allowed to do what you're seeing here, more or less technically, and then shoot people halfway through the race as well, like you really want to do in a race like this anyway. So that's what's up.
It's pretty fun.
We enjoy it. And we talk shit just like we do here, and then post it on the internet, much to your shame.
Alright, so Caleb Gonzalez still in the fight here for... This is 2nd place, effectively. It's actually 3rd place at the moment. Max Simmons still yet to pit. Jesus Christ. Still out there on his first set of tires. Now, the bright side to this, of course, again, to go into a strategic breakdown here, is that right now Max is sacrificing lap time. You can see the gap is closing. Really it may actually with the rate that's closing, I think he might actually be in the pits. But you would notice that the gap was closing. His tires were slower, more worn. He's definitely in the pit lane, actually. But he's going to come out. He's going to have more rubber to apply into these last 38 minutes. And in theory, he's going to be able to whip this car and make a late charge. We've lost Fran Machuca from the race. Oh, no.
Francis, why?
No, the Fran Club. The Fran Club has been let down today by Fran. Probably Fran's internet, if we're being honest.
Francisco.
Alright, so everybody is now made their pit stop. We're just waiting for Max Simmons to rejoin before I can give a full rundown of the positions here. As Caleb Gonzalez is all over the back end of Andrew D down the Camel Straight and into Lake Home. So Max Simmons has rejoined in 8th place. So let's give it a rundown here. Christopher Streppen leads the way from Andrew D and Caleb Gonzalez. You see them on your screen right now. Ariel Zatoni in 4th place, followed by Martin Edmonds, Josiah Jerome, Bertram Barrier in 7th place, Max Simmons, Fumihiro Kobayashi, Wayne Hutchison, and a man who's had a really bad day, rough day at the office, Luciano Echazo in 11th place. In the GT4 field, it is Tony Santa Clara, Alexander Saluko, Liam Curtin, John Barker, James Butler, and Michael Magas, the 6 surviving GT4 cars.
No, say it all backwards.
We have lost Fran Machuca, Mauricio Delgado, Alex Loeffler, Sergio Mengual, Ishmael Montoya, and we also lost, he's not listed here, Richard DeRoche on lap 1.
Agreed. Welcome to the Enduro, where the placings don't matter and everybody destroys themselves.
I mean, that has been the case today. We've seen a number of single car accidents today, and we may see more. We'll see.
Oh, I'm hoping.
So Caleb, James Butler is stopped at the side of the road there. Not sure what's up there. It appears he is going again. At a loss to explain that.
Well, maybe you should find it, or not. I don't know. I'm not your parents.
I mean, let's be honest here. My sole surviving parent orders me to do nothing. So
that is true. Except lend money.
I mean, he asks me to lend money, but
that's true.
It is.
You know, actually, I noticed something on the banner there. It says Francorchamps. So it's, you can either be French or a champion.
Indeed. And you can't be both.
Apparently not, according to public literature there.
Now you got me reading all the trackside signs.
No, unfortunately, no real cheese people, nor do we have
no real
Henry gun action.
That's Road America. Caleb Gonzalez all over the back end. At some point, they're going to get coded in this game, and that's going to get interesting because that's in Texas.
Is there armadillos?
There may be.
Just like fields of hogs across the track, so you have to smash your way through yards and yards of angry pork.
Very angry pork. So looking back at Max Simmons, I'm looking at the gap between him and Bertrand Barrier. That is coming down rapidly. See that. I think we'll see before long a good battle there, as we can see that Josiah Jerome's rear end has seen better days. It is heavily damaged. And the battle for second place in GT4, I thought Liam Curtin would have an easy time with Saluko here, because Saluko's got a bit of damage, but it doesn't look like it. The Russian is hanging on, and this could be a big breakthrough performance for him. Just as I'm saying that, Liam Curtin does go down the inside. That being said, still looking at a podium right now for Saluko. That's a big step forward in his career.
I'm into it.
Somebody locked up the brakes into the bus stop there. Martin Edmonds and Josiah Jerome won't show us who it is yet.
It's your boy Stoffmill with a steel chair.
Stoffmill with a steel chair and Barbie. He is beating the entire field up.
Indeed. Apparently they turned Roman Reigns heel about 8 years too late.
I mean, it's interesting.
I'm interested. Apparently he and Heyman are now a thing.
That's cool.
I can't see how that can go wrong as long as McMahon dies tomorrow. In a very peaceful and respectful manner.
I don't even know if I wish that.
As long as his plane piles directly into Lolita Island or whatever the fucking that guy owned.
Josiah Jerome overtakes Martin Edmonds and moves into 5th place. So despite the damage to that Audi, he is still humming along. Still has the pace. Just needs to control the car, damn it.
Get him, Josiah. You can win. We believe in you.
Josiah Jerome has done great things. Him and Demetrius Simeonitis are two of the meteoric stars rising in ESR right now. Just a fantastic journey from relative noob to race-winning threat in a ridiculously short period of time.
Correct. Just needs to find that consistency.
Let's see if Martin can strike back, but I do believe Martin came in notably earlier than Josiah, so probably facing a tire disadvantage here.
He's only got 2.
I mean, probably 3.
2.5.
I'll give you 2.5.
Set the over-under at 2.5.
Max Simmons, by the way, is... Whoa, okay, I think Barrier... I was going to say Barrier appears to be off the track, and indeed. Say the gap was closing very quickly, and that was the confirmation there of Max Simmons overtaking the off-the-track Bertrand Barrier.
I feel like we should name a piece of a track and call it the Barrier Barrier.
I'm fine with that. And Bertrand has unfortunately retired from the race, so we're down to 10 GT3s and 6 GT4s still running. 16 of the 23 runners are still on track.
I say, Bertrand, not rather sporting what?
Well, car may not have been able to continue, if we're being honest. That was pretty hard contact by the looks of it.
Back in the wall, we just got out and push.
The old Nigel Mansell deal. Canadian Grand Prix of 1992. Nigel Mansell gets out of the car to try to push it across the line and does indeed collapse.
That seems fair.
Turns out he turned the car off by accident while waving to the crowd.
That's hilarious.
Did go on to still become world champion that season by a large margin. So that probably makes you feel a little better.
What's this about large margin?
Margin.
Margarine?
Actually, at the time, I believe it was the largest margin in Formula One history to win a championship by. It has since been beaten, but I do believe at the time it was a record.
Beat that whole goddamn field by at least 1 point.
Now, mind you, a lot of that was the car, and Nigel has done himself no favors by constantly wanting to downplay how good the car was, while ignoring the fact that the guy who finished in second place was, in fact, his teammate.
And also driving a Lada directly out of Ukraine.
Probably the most successful driver to only win one championship, Nigel Mansell. He's in the top 10 in most of the categories you want to be in F1 history, and yet only one-time champion.
That's a little weird. A little circumstantial weird shit going on there, or
well,
just a prick?
he kind of came in, honestly, like he came in the 80s, which is about the same time Alain Prost, who became a 4-time world champion, and Ayrton Senna, who became a 3-time world champion, and Nelson Piquet, who became a 3-time world champion, came in. So it's kind of like a real golden age of drivers in F1.
Yeah,
Hello, John Barker.
I mean, even I have heard of Alain Prost.
The only French Formula One world champion, actually.
Is it because they drove
I'm
on the
always
wrong
surprised
side,
to
though?
know that because the French are, of course, they produced a lot of drivers over the years and some very, very good ones. But Prost is, in fact, the only one to actually win the title.
Because all the French champions, they live in Canada, what?
Yep, we do have Jacques Villeneuve. It's kind of weird. Canada has produced the same number of Formula One world champions as France.
Actually, we have more because I stole some of them.
Also, a shocking lack of actual German success in Formula One before Michael Schumacher. He was the first German to actually win the title. I think only like the third German driver to actually win a race as well, to be honest. Like Jochen Mass and Wolfgang von Trips were the only other two. I know all of this historical facts now because I did the Formula One podiums test where you had to name all 213 drivers to stand on an F1 podium. So now all the facts are fresh in my brain again.
Also, you're a huge nerd.
Oh yeah, hells yes. Can name every Formula One world champion ever.
They're
Not
all
in
named
order.
Dave.
I used to be able to do it in order, but not anymore. Pretty close though. If you name a year, I can probably tell you who the world champion was. So
1901.
There wasn't one. It started in 1950, sir.
Well, that sounds like they just weren't trying at all.
Pit window is closed. Not that it matters. Everybody did get their pit stop in. So it is a battle to the finish here. Verstappen still leading. Andrew D is eating into him a little bit. Andrew D has also got a nice cushion to Caleb Gonzalez. So that gap has grown significantly. Zatoni in 5th. Josiah Jerome hunting him down. That is what you're seeing on your screen right now. Martin Edmonds behind them in 6th. Max Simmons with the freshest tires in the field in 7th place ahead of Kobayashi, Hutchison, and Ichazo. Santa Clara, who is just dominated. 43 seconds ahead of Liam Curtin. This is some Stoff Mill watch shit at this point.
Correct.
And then it's Saluko, Barker, Butler, and Magas.
I'm just waiting for somebody that, like, the top 3 guys just to spin the fuck out for no reason.
And then
Zatoni just wins, yeah. Well, I don't know. Zatoni gets pretty close to the end, and then Jerome passes him on the last, 2 corners.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Right at the bus stop chicane.
You heard it here, folks. I totally didn't watch this race beforehand. I didn't. Just, that's not sarcasm.
Also, if you look closely at the back of Josiah's car, you can get a good look at the internal workings of that Audi, because he is missing a substantial amount of bodywork. Edmonds, one of the many leaders of this race at one point or another. Currently running in 6th. Might be able to make that into top 5. I must say that Max Simmons' long run has not really worked out. He's actually losing ground periodically to the top 6, so not great.
Might I
not
recommend
great strategy.
He just drives faster.
That'd be the idea. He's got the best tires out on the field right now. I was expecting some decent times, but we're not really getting it, although that lap was pretty decent. Took Took about a half second out of Martin Edmonds there. Josiah Jerome has to be asking himself what could have been if he didn't make a couple of self-inflicted errors.
Well, you see, what could have been is he could have won that.
That is exactly the case. I think he had the pace today to be the man to really take the fight to Christoph Verstappen, and if not get the win, at least get that second place. And instead, it looks like Andrew D. and Caleb Gonzalez will probably get that podium spot. As Wayne Hutchison overtakes we've lost Fumihiro Kobayashi.
No, the Fulminator.
That puts us down to 9 GT3s and 6 GT4s. 15 of the original 23 cars still running.
They're all just lucky that Josiah Jerome wasn't here that day, embarrassed the shit out of them, finished first while they're still on their 14th lap.
Ooh, that would have been a hell of an embarrassing display.
Yeah, I've driven so fast, you guys can't even keep up. We're just going to keep going.
Still a lot of time left, so... And Andrew D is once again closing on Christoph Verstappen, so we may yet have a struggle for the lead. So, a trivia question for Byron and those at home. As Josiah follows Ariel Zatoni through Eau Rouge here and tries to get his way through. We're in Belgium, of course, for this race. Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium. Have there been any Belgian Formula One World Champions?
Kimi Räikkönen.
No, sir.
Oh,
hang on. Josiah got around him at Lake Combe. And is Josiah Jerome up to 4th place once again?
Leif Erikson the Bold. How about your boy, Tokyo Sex Whale?
Love. Always gotta love Tokyo Sex Whale. I think it's Sex Wally. Wally or something.
It's Tokyo Says Wally.
But even that is pretty. Even that's pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah. I know it's pronounced, it's Sejwale, or yeah, pretty close to that, but it's spelled Tokyo Sex Whale. What the fuck do you want me to do?
They referred to him as Tokyo Sex Whale on some of the A1GP broadcasts. He was the team owner of Team South Africa.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
He was. With Adrian Zaug driving for them, for the most part, as well as Alan Vandenberg.
Listen, if anybody out there wants a little misnomer, a little driving name that they don't want to give out their real name, just pick Tokyo Sex Whale. Holy fuck, what the fuck?
Pretty much.
Not only am I not going to question it, but I will support that.
We will support that on commentary. You have the ESR commentary approval. Trying to think of any other really good racing names.
Dick Whiskey from the 24th and a half century.
I mean, there's Dick Trickle, of course.
Yeah, Dick Trickle is pretty funny. I think possibly the finest Belgian racer of all time was, of course, Ricardo Petit. I might be pronouncing that differently. I think he was from, like, Kentucky or something.
I mean, the finest Belgian, at least F1-wise racer, is probably Jackie X.
From the Planet of X?
Maybe.
Many machines on Ix.
One of the most important planets in all the Empire.
Correct.
Ruled
You know
by
what we
House
need?
Ventress.
You know what we need? We need somebody, not Seth Rogen, but somebody to do a tribute, nay spoof, to the Dune franchise. But it's all stoner comedy.
I'd be down with that.
In order, not the spice must flow, the herb must flow. Then that's your in. And
You
build it from
you're
there.
the second person to make a Dune reference in the ESR community today.
Who was the other one?
Jack in his steward report put the penalties must flow.
Nice. Jack, hook up with me. We'll do some creative penalizing. It'll be fun.
Jack is a big fan of Dune. In fact, I mean, in fairness, my dad introduced me to Dune, but I was going to say, Jack is the one who probably got me to... It was mostly his copies of the books, but my dad had, like, all the bad Dune books for some reason.
Oh, the Brian, like, his kid? Yeah, fuck
No. This was the original stuff, but, like, he had, like, instead of having, like, Dune, the original book and everything, he had...
Chapter House
God
Dune.
Emperor and Heretics of Dune and Chapter House Dune. He had those three books.
God Emperor is
not
fine if you're in a philosophical mood, but nothing happens.
They're all fine, but I mean, like, if we're talking about what are the best books, the ones that you really need to read, it's the original Dune, Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune.
Yeah, God Emperor of Dune. Fine, great. I don't know about great, but you'd have to actually talk to philosophical people about God Emperor.
I enjoyed it.
But it's just a lot of talking about a lot of ideas, and there's not much that goes on.
Race leader Christoph Verstappen going past James Butler there to put a lap on him. Verstappen is he's managing to hold that to about a 4 to 5 second gap back to Andrew D. Kind of fluctuating, so not really sure if D is going to be able to put together a solid run on him, but we'll see. Still like a quarter of an hour to go here.
Speaking of D,
some of the Brian Herbert stuff is actually pretty good, but on the whole,
don't lie to people like that.
No, like here's my honest opinion on the Brian Herbert stuff. If you go into it not really comparing it to his dad's work, it's pretty solid. Like, he's a pretty good writer. Everything makes pretty good sense. The story is compelling, but it's just not as good.
He should have just written his own thing.
That probably would have been the better bet. Because, to be honest, if you read, like, Chapter House Dune, or anything after Chapter House Dune, it doesn't necessarily... Oh, Josiah overshoots the bus stop and rejoins the track. Anyways, what I was going at there. He's catching up to Caleb Gonzalez quite quickly, although that might be part of why he went off there.
Actually, I believe it's pronounced Halib.
Halib. Like, it's honestly, like, the prequel stuff is also disjointed.
Oh, yeah.
From the main series as well. Like, it's stuff that is, like, reference. Like if you read the original 6 Dune books by Frank Herbert,
you the Bootlegger and Jihad and all
exactly. And we tell the stories of those, but it honestly feels like it doesn't add anything to the over. And I haven't read the stuff that he did after Chapter House, because he's added 2 books after Chapter House. Those I heard were actually really not good.
You don't try and improve on Daddy's work. You just, bruh.
Yeah. It feels like he should have just kind of rode in the same universe, but separated. Like, I don't know.
Stories about anything else.
Well, even, like, within the same ideas. Because he's got some interesting ideas for, like, how things came to be, honest. But, like, title the books differently. Like erase the Dune part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fine, play around in Daddy's universe, but don't step on Daddy's dick.
Just because you
I
came
mean
from
that
it,
in a
don't mean you can do
non-sexual
it.
way, you perverts.
But I mean, if you read like House Atreides or Battle of Corn, it's pretty good. It's pretty reasonable science fiction.
Yeah. I'm going through the Malazan books right now. I've read them all, but now I'm going through them all on audiobook through the Audible. And I'm enjoying it. If I might make a recommendation, don't get the Penguin books. Holy shit, those are not what you want. For one thing, they put this insanely loud and distorted musical sting on the front and back of every section of every audiobook. This was brought to you by Penguin. And it's just like distorted
Yeah,
and retarded.
a lot of them kind of do that, but yeah, that does sound like really just bad quality.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Um,
It's as if they ramped up the volume and ramped down the bit rate to the
I
point where
will
it's just
say
like almost punk rock.
the audiobook that I'm listening to now, well, one of the two I'm listening to right now, actually kind of is fucked up because it's an anthology, like 3 books for like one purchase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first book is fine. It's like chapter, but then the second book is just like one giant chapter.
Ooh.
Called End Credits.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a bit silly. It's a 5-hour read, but like, and it's still broken up. Like if you're listening to it, it'll go like, chapter 12, chapter 13, whatever. So you can still kind of break it up, but you can't do like a skip chapter function.
Yeah.
Which is a bit bad, as Christopher Streppin puts a lap there on Alexander Saluko, who has at this point drifted way back of Liam Curtin. Liam is catching the GT4 leader. He's got the gap down under 40 seconds, but it's nothing going on there, I don't think. That's just a slightly fresher set of tires taking him a bit quicker right now. Really, he'd have to make up like better than almost 4 seconds a lap to make this, or a minute to make this a challenge, and I just don't think he has that in him. Max Simmons would be the other one to look out for, but he is not making a dent in Martin Edmonds right now, still about 29 seconds back. Christopher Streppin's now up 7+ seconds over Andrew D, so things have pretty much settled down. The closest fight on the field right now is Josiah Jerome's attempt to catch Caleb Gonzalez for the last podium spot. That gap is about 4 seconds. So we'll see what happens here in the last 10 minutes, probably roughly 5 laps. Because, of course, Spa-Francorchamps is a very long lap. You can see the best lap there from race leader Christopher Streppin, 2:18.944. So we're talking like a 2-minute 20-second lap probably at this point. There is Josiah Jerome trying to hunt down Caleb Gonzalez for the last spot on the podium. He is not. I mean, he's catching. It's down to 3 seconds, but we'll see. We'll see. That's the gap definitely to look at.
I mean, if they drove faster, the gap would be smaller.
It's true. Michael Magas has notably caught up to James Butler a lot. That gap is down to under 5 seconds.
I mean, I'd say you're doing pretty good. You passed some of them there blue tabby cars, and you're doing real well.
Yeah, I'm in dead last place, sir. It's not great.
Well, that's only one way to look. You're way ahead of Christopher Streppin. He has to try and catch up with you.
My current audiobooks listening right now is the Ember War Saga, which has been pretty fun, as well as the continuation of the Lost Fleet Chronicles.
Sounds pretty dope. I might recommend the King's Dark Tidings books. Although there's 4 books, And towards the end, I got kind of tired of the characters
Ooh, Alexander
being what they
Saluko
were.
off the track there.
So it's a really awesomely cool idea, and it starts off really awesome and end really cool, and
Whoa!
then
Michael Magas has overtaken James Butler.
It's your boy.
Butler's in the wall.
Bootlier, what the heck?
That's 5th place for Magas. This race could have been so much more for him, though. It looked like 2nd place was pretty secure, and then Lake Home happened.
Should have switched to Le Brush.
That's true. So John Barker is now all over the back end of Alexander Saluko. I just said like everything's all settled, and then Butler goes off and Saluko goes off, and suddenly the GT4 race is back alive again. It's a very beat up car that Saluko has, so I mean Barker is not fully healthy either. You can see the crumpling on the bonnet there, but I do like his chances against the pretty banged up front end of Saluko.
If I may.
But no offense, John. I am cheering for Saluko here because I would really like to see Alex get a podium. That would be really, really cool.
No podium for you. Put him in the wall. I mean, yeah, it's probably a pretty good idea to keep people encouraged.
Yeah. Oh, I'm always going to cheer for a guy who, at least to my knowledge and memory, has never had an ESR podium.
He's had every single one. You just blank it out.
Mistaken. It's possible. Might have had an Academy podium or something. But, I can safely say that they have been a relatively rare occurrence for him. Well, as Barker's had a couple, and has been a real mainstay of this Enduro series as well as the multi-class.
Lulu Dallas multi-class.
But I don't know. Saluko's got 6 minutes to hang in there, and that car does not seem to be turning in particularly well into some of these corners. It could leave Barker with a very solid opening to take that podium. Checking around, Josiah Jerome's got the gap to Caleb Gonzalez down to 1.3, so 3rd place in the GT3 race, also under fire. Hopefully we do at some point check in on that battle as well.
No, denied.
So this is the section here that I think Saluko's really going to be hurting in. Through Stavlo and then into Blanchimont. Oh, Martin Emmons! Not sure what happened there, but he spun out at the bus stop chicane. Looked like Ariel Zatoni was taking some evasive action, so I wonder if those two touched.
Gently.
Into the bus stop we go. It is still Saluko holding off John Barker, whose vision is obscured by the bent-up bonnet. That late pit run has really not worked out for Max Simmons. He's just not making up any ground. Now, mind you, it could be true that he was going to finish in 7th place anyways, and the pit stop didn't matter. But this is kind of the thing that I've brought up with him a couple times. Is I think these late pit stop runs, I'm not sure if they're very well thought through. It just seems to be something he does.
I mean, you're not wrong. I've seen him do it.
And I don't think there's necessarily a tremendous rhyme or reason or great strategic plan. That's kind of what I'm trying to impress upon him, that he might want to think more about it. Maybe there is a great plan. I don't know, but I've just seen a couple of times now where he's gone super late in the race, and the result just really hasn't paid off because he's not really been able to bring the fresh rubber to the fore in the late stages.
Well, and I think he needs to start using a paint roller and a bucket of latex and just getting out there and swabbing those bitches up.
That'll be a great plan.
Hell yeah.
You could also take a paint roller and some poutine.
That's all greasy.
Work with Byron or work with Martin's philosophy as Max Simmons goes through there. And there is the gap for third place. Josiah Jerome puts a lap on Liam Curtin and is all over the back end. He's got 2 more laps, I think, to try to deliver here against Ariel's or against Caleb Gonzalez for that final points or that final podium position. I'm all over the place with my vocabulary today.
Your vocabulizing is all crumulent. I will thank you to perambulate.
It is verbose and inaccurate.
Do you stultify?
What do you think? Does Josiah have one last charge in him?
Yo, I mean, he has to make up.
Look at the inside of Lake
Before he can try and get there. I don't mean that's gonna work.
Well, he just got third place. Caleb's coming back at him. A little bit of a shortcut there, I think, through Lake Combe, but okay. Force wide at Ravage, and he's got it.
Ha-cha-cha.
Caleb gets it back.
I believe that's pronounced Khalib.
They're now approaching. They are now approaching No Name and then into Pouillon. And then it'll be the run through Sector 3. They're coming up to James Butler, I do believe. It will be a lapping scenario. Butler's back end has seen better days.
Whoa! Graphic detail.
It's very exposed right now. All right, John Barker has dropped back off of that blue flag scenario. He's looking for a podium. Josiah Jerome's looking for a podium, and it's up to Caleb Gonzalez and Alexander Saluko to hang on to their hard-earned podium spots. Any hope of Andrew D making Verstappen work for this is kind of fading. The gap is now up to about 9.5, 10 seconds. So that has grown significantly, although it is closing now, so maybe a mistake there by Verstappen. Little caster's curse, maybe. Josiah Jerome on the outside of the bus stop. That means he's going to have the inside in the second half of it. Can he get it done? No. Gonzalez hangs on.
Well done.
Looking back, Saluko is still holding off Barker. Hopefully the race director gives us some looks at that because we are on the final lap. There is fights for the podiums. First and second may more or less be over and done with, but third place is the hot zone right now. That low step on the podium, it's up for grabs. Josiah Jerome trying to get it from Caleb Gonzalez. John Barker throwing everything he can at Alexander Saluko for third place as well. But Jerome is setting up for an outside run down Lake Combe. Gonzalez going defensive and looking to try to hang on. It's going to, I think, go towards Gonzalez once again as he hangs on to that podium position for the Peruvian people.
And they both go in the wall, and everybody lives weirdly ever after.
And Zatoni picks up a random podium. Oh, Barker trying to go around the outside into the end of bus stop. Can he get it done? Can the camera stick with the battle, please?
Nope.
No offense, Josiah and Caleb. This is also an engrossing fight, but that was side by side at the line. It looks like Barker, in fact, got it. Jerome looking for a move here, or at least setting up for a move. His last chance is going to be the bus stop, I think. Caleb Gonzalez is going to be trying to defend super hard here on the last lap.
Give it to him super hard.
Because he's super bad.
I got soul, and I'm super bad.
Oh, Saluko got back past Barker at some point. They're on their way through to the end of the lap as well. Checkered flag is out. That would mean Christopher Verstappen is your winner. Here it is at the final. Into the bus stop. He got it. He got it.
Can he hold it?
No, maybe not. Caleb's
It's
got to
down
run
the line, down the line.
down to the line.
Who's got the Colombian marching powder? I mean, the Peruvian.
It looks like Caleb got it.
The Peruvian marching powder. OP over Colombian marching
All right.
powder.
Here's the excitement for the other third place position. It is Saluco. It is Barker. It is BMW on BMW right now, trying to get that last podium position. Tony Santa Clara, Liam Curtin, I do believe, have both finished in first and second place. Can Barker get it done? Can Saluco hang on? All right, here we are. Heading into the sweeping section here of Stavelot, down to Blanchimont. Then it'll be the bus stop. The bus stop will be the spot to make the move if he can do it. Here we go. Into Blanchimont. Then the straight leading up to the bus stop. Oh, contact! Barker punts Saluco. And that may have made this academic. Wayne Hutchison comes across the line at 8th place. Last amongst the GT3s, but a solid finish nonetheless. It doesn't change the points that 8th place pays just because you're in last place.
John Spotton, you have been fined 1 half credit for your last place finish.
All right, we just wait for the final positions here to be finalized. Christopher Streppen, Andrew D. Gonzalez. Just hang on. Should be mentioned, Josiah Jerome. 7/10 faster than anyone else in the fastest lap department. 2:18.2. It's amazing. 4th place, though. Zatoni, Edmonds, Simmons, Hutchison. Your finalists in the GT3 category. Tony Santa Clara, Liam Curtin. John Barker. There was no penalties. A little surprised at that.
I hereby penalize them all. 72,000
Saluco 4th, Magas 5th, and Butler 6th. Everybody else out of the race: Luciano Chazo, Kobayashi, Barrier, Machuca, Delgado, Loeffler, Mengual, Montoya, DeRoche, and I didn't even realize Ayrton Tobin was supposed to be in on this. So there was actually 24 cars at the start.
Well done.
All right, let's get the standings out here so I can give a rundown here of the Enduro Series heading into the next round of the championship, which will be the September 26th round at Imola, 105 minutes around Imola. And it is in the GT3 category. Mike Stopbill, despite his absence here today, leading the way from Ariel Zatoni, Christoph Verstappen, Martin Edmonds, and Richard DeRoche. It is for the GT4 category. Sergio Mengual, despite a bad outing here today, leading the way from John Barker, James P. Butler, Alex Loeffler, and Michael Magas. Let's see. Oh, it's just Cole McRae. I was going to say there's a multi-standings as well. It's just Cole. So he competed as a GT3 and a GT4. So that is all from Spa. Coming up this week, we have, I'll read out the on tap real quick. Should have been on it beforehand. This Wednesday, we got the practice round at Monza, or the preview round, I should say, at Monza for the 3D Speed Series in ACC. We also have the September 4th running of the R Factor 2. All of that is still to be decided. It's just a fun drop-in race. Saturday, multi-class action, the season finale at the Daytona sports car course. That's Daytona prototypes and GT4s at a 90-minute race, as well as the R Factor 2 event at Watkins Glen with the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars. And on Sunday, we have the Kyalami practice round for ACC GT3. That is a 60-minute race around the South African track. So, Byron, do you have anything final to say?
Y'all should look up the Ace of Spades Superbad mashup on YouTube. It's great.
Yes.